Good morning everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Maz and today I'm in Shurdington near Cheltenham. And in today's video I'll be reviewing this Nissan S-Cargo. And of course here is a quick overview. The Nissan S-Cargo, as you can see, is a work van sold exclusively in Japan and sold exclusively in right-hand drive. They were first built around the late 80s. This one is actually a G-Reg, so it's a 1990 model. Let's talk about the very big quirk, the looks. So it's called the Nissan S-Cargo because it looks like a snail, and the French word for snail is escargot. And Nissan also sort of made the snail its branding mascot, so you get snails on the wheel trims and snails on the mud flaps. And of course on the front end you do get these very frog eye like headlights and a very small bonnet. This is actually based on the Nissan Sunny. And if you come to the side you get these very quirky mirrors. They follow the lines of the body. If we come to the door handles, not only do you have to put your key in to unlock it, but also you get this lever here to unlock. This particular one has a window on the side. This is actually aftermarket. And to unlock the field door you just simply put your key in and open. Come around to the back. Because this is a Japanese import, an aftermarket fog light had to be fitted in. And of course there's the S-Cargo emblem. So let's get into the car. So again we need the key. Forgot to mention, this is what the key looks like. Just your usual late 80s, early 90s Nissan's key fob. Although this particular one does not have any Nissan emblems on. So this goes in here. This lifts up. Normally in Japanese cars you get the lock by the door handle, and then rather than pulling on this you actually pull on this. And the next quirk is actually when you close the door. Not exactly a G-Wagon, but sort of along the lines of that. So coming inside is where most of the quirks are in this vehicle. So this is the car's point of view. You only get a single prong steering wheel, similar to an old Citroen. These only came with 3-speed automatics. And of course, because this was sold exclusively in Japan, many of the instructions are written in either hiragana or katakana or kanji. This particular car has a bench front seat. There is a split here, but that does mean you can just move over to the passenger compartment just like this. And of course you can just reach out the window if you're traveling on the right and you need to use a drive-through. And of course manually adjustable windows, and similar to a Countach, only half of the window opens. And of course you can just reach out for a ticket if you're traveling out to France. Another thing is that the exterior colour is exposed here in the interior as well. You only get a little bit of door card here for the door handle, and of course the window winders, a very shallow door pocket and grab handle. Bizarrely, for a car that's meant to be practical, there is no glove box, just this small box over here. Because this is a G-Reg car, you get an ashtray, and to remove that you just pop over here and clear this out. All of these S-Cargos came with automatics, so you had this very chunky button here. This was originally designed to be a floor mount, but here in the S-Cargo it's mounted on the dash, and obviously to operate you just put it all the way down. This one only has 3 gears, so we're currently in gear 1. There's gear 2 and there's gear 3. And what's interesting is that it's very easy to overshoot your desired gear. So I went from gear 1 and I was supposed to go to drive, but I'm now in neutral. Coming up to the dash, here is your instrument cluster. You only get this speedo and your fuel temp and your temperature. There is no rev counter at all, as you don't really need a rev counter on a strict automatic. And the speedo is in kilometers, so 160 kilometers is roughly 100 miles per hour, give or take. This particular S-Cargo has done over 131,000 miles, and of course you can tell it's got the old-fashioned revolving mileage counter as opposed to the digital ones of today. Coming down, you've got some climate control here. You do get very tiny ones on the passenger and the driver's side. And to control, you just simply use these very 80s looking switch gear. So that's for your front demister, that's for your demister and your lower leg. That's just your lower leg, that's for your lower and torso, and that is just your torso. And if I just do that again, it makes a really loud bonging noise if I go all the way to the left, as well as the right. This is of course your single zone climate control. And your AC, once again, uses a similar switch, and so does your air recirculation. What's interesting, this particular one, if you go all the way to the right, something starts to rattle behind the dash. And that CD player is actually aftermarket, and to open it you just press this button here and slide it out. Being a Japanese car sold only in Japan, the indicator is on the right hand side with your wipers on the left. Now just to clarify, this is the correct configuration for right hand drive cars, so if you're changing gears you can still indicate with your other hand. But of course this is an automatic, so you don't really need to change gears. Coming up to the headlining now, it's very far away, so tall people can easily fit in. This mirror looks very aftermarket, and on the drivers there is no mirror at all, just somewhere to store your notes. And again, warning signs are written exclusively in Japanese. Once again, hiragana, katakana or kanji. Okay, so that's the exterior and interior done now, so let's see how this car drives. Huge thank you to Shire Cars of Shurdington for letting me try this out. So, great big auto selector in the way. So, there we go, and off we go. This particular car has no airbag on it, and one thing I really appreciate is that there's lots of glass around here, so it's really easy to see out. And the way the steering wheel comes out, it feels like I'm driving a bus. Up, indicator's actually this way, and off we go. So there are a few rattles from this car, but that's something to expect from a car like this. It rides very smoothly, surprisingly. The brake is very smooth. And the steering wheel is very light, but despite being very light, it feels relatively direct. There is a little bit of a dead zone with the steering wheel, assuming this car uses recirculating ball as opposed to rack and pinion due to its age. But other than that, it drives fairly well. On these stretches of road, it does go very linear. I found the culprit. The rattle is coming from the mirror. Also, one funny thing, this car will beep at you if you go over 60 miles per hour. So for that reason, I will not be taking it on the dual carriageway or the motorway. So we'll stick to these quiet roads and built up area. Yeah, the steering does feel very loose, but that's it going straight. So quite a big dead zone. But that being said, the pedals feel very linear. Went down a few undulations and I barely felt them. Once again, indicator on the right. Something fell in the back, but let's go. Lots of traffic here in Shurdington. Might as well go this way into the built-up area. Oh, very nice neighbourhood. Ah, it's a dead end. Oh well. Let's see how it does on a full lock. So, and let's see how many turns there are from lock to lock. So that's 1, 2, 3 turns from lock to lock. Once again, remember the indicator is on this side, which is, like I said, is the correct way for right-hand drive cars, so you can change gear while indicating. Here we go. And the wind noise in here isn't very deafening. I can still easily hear myself, and dare I say it, a little bit of echo coming from the back. Going into Up Hatherley. Let's see how well it does on the roundabout. Ooh. That's the joys of having bench seats. You can easily fall off of them. There's no bolsters there to support you at all. That's the trade-off you get for being able to scooch over to the passenger side. Let's see how well this car does on the built-up area. So another roundabout test, but this time going right. And brake. Everyone's looking at me. Well, I think they're more looking at the car due to its odd shape. Here's an opportunity. Ooh. Yep, everyone is looking at me. Or the car, I should say. That's the mirror rattling again. And we're into the built-up area. Well, particularly a housing estate. Even in this built-up area speed, the car feels like it's going to spin out on turns. And I'm coming into a width restrictor. Let's see how well this does on the width restrictor. No hesitation at all. Now let's see how it goes on the speed bumps. Another roundabout. Oh, another speed bump. So from built-up area speed, it's a bit noisy when I go over speed bumps, but the car, or the van I should say, feels pretty much at home in these residential speed limits. Here's another speed bump. And another one. It glides smoothly. Dare I say it, the ride in this car feels much more comfortable than many other cars, worth double or even triple its value. Here's a bigger speed bump. Barely a jolt. Let's pull into here to do a U-turn. Yeah. So many turns to go from lock to lock. There's that loud beep for reverse. Visibility around the back is perfect. There's a great big rear window. Every time I put it from reverse to drive, the engine dramatically quietens down, almost giving me a false sense of stalling it. But of course, it's an automatic, you can't really stall. Also, since this is a wider part of the housing estate, look, lots of body roll, even if I just do that. And finally, a stretch of single carriageway. Can't really go that fast, currently in the 40 zone. It does feel like the car is revving high, but the sound isn't too loud, so it's not going to be too deafening if you want to drive this. If you're going to drive this up and down a B road, but you may end up holding a bit of a queue behind you. So let's take this back to Shire Cars and finalise the video. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching me review this Nissan S-Cargo. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you are new, ring the bell to stay up to speed, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.